You Made Me Do It to Both of Us by Tamara L. Adams. Read for you by Tamara L. Adams. I hope you enjoy. Chapter 1. My heart flutters. There he is, handsome as ever. Tall, darker skinned, thick hair, and a little muscular. The man I'm going to marry. He doesn't know yet, but I'm going to make it happen. Ever since the day he walked into the coffee shop, my coffee shop, well, not mine, but the one I work at, it was obvious he was waiting for a date of some kind. He was dressed in khakis and a nice polo shirt, casual enough, but not too casual. He sat nervously at one of the taller tables, looking around, waiting. When she finally showed, 10 minutes later, he looked happy enough with what he saw. She was a brunette, just a few inches taller than 5 feet, and a little on the chubby side, but cute enough. They sat and talked for a half hour. She kept looking at her phone, but his eyes were only on her, very attentive and interested. In the end, she left with a handshake and a quick goodbye. His face showed all of his disappointment as he left. It took every ounce of my willpower not to follow him, but I vowed that day to make him mine. Now, it's my chance to win him over. I know I'm his type because I'm not much shorter than his date. I have the same dark wavy hair, and I even have hazel eyes like she did. She has about 30 pounds on me, but don't all men like girls a little skinnier? So that's actually positive. Plus, I look extra hot today. Push-up bra shirt that shows off my amazing boobs, and skin-tight pants that leave nothing to the imagination. No guy can resist it. They're all led by that little man in their pants, and I use that to my advantage every chance I get. I stand in front of the open hood of my car, hands on my hips, faking hopelessness, throwing my hands in the air, looking under the hood, letting out irritated groans, then looking around for help. He notices me, but keeps walking towards his car. Maybe he's shy or doesn't want to intrude. I can't let him get away. Excuse me? He looks up. Me? Yes, I flash him with my best smile. I was wondering if you knew anything about cars? Mine won't start, and I can't seem to find what's wrong. Not that I would have a clue anyway. I shrug. Do you know anything about cars? Not really, but I can take a look. I've got him. No man can turn away from a damsel in distress. That would be great. Thank you so much, I coo. He looks inside the hood, searching for anything he can possibly find for a quick fix, but unless he knows cars, he won't find it. I made sure to remove a clamp from one of the spark plugs, which is easy enough to do and will render a car useless, but isn't obvious as an issue unless you know about engines. Even if he does find it, he'll still be my hero of the day, and that would work into my advantage, so either way I win. He does his best to find the problem, but comes up with nothing. I'm going to be honest here, I don't know anything about cars, and I can't see what's wrong. Want me to call a tow truck? That would be great. Thank you for trying. I touch his forearm. My phone's battery is dead, and I can't charge it with a dead car. I'm having the worst luck today. I pout. No problem. He smiles and pulls out his phone and looks up the nearest towing company. Hi, yes, I have a car here that needs to be towed to a repair shop. He waits. Yes? No. Okay, hold on a second. He puts his hand over the phone. They said it could be a couple hours before they get here. Okay, I guess it'll have to be fine. I don't have a choice. Give a disappointed shrug. Worry crosses his face. I can call a different towing company. No, I don't want to bother you too much. I can wait. They're probably all busy. He puts the phone back to his ear. Okay, let me give you the address. He gives him all the details and hangs up. I'm going to call another place just to see. Thank you for your help. You are so kind. This is so nerve-wracking. I lie. This is actually working out perfectly for me. He calls 2 other tow truck services. One of them doesn't answer, and the other says it will be 2 to 3 hours wait. Looks like I'm going to be here a while. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you helping me. No problem. He starts to turn away. I'm way too close to winning him over. I rub my arms as if it's too cold for me. Can I repay you somehow? I don't have any cash on me. I know it's dumb, but I'm running out of options. Oh no, it was just a few calls. I was glad to help. I rub my arms one more time. I knew I should have brought my jacket. I fake a laugh. He hesitates. I have a jacket you can have in my car, or there's a diner just up the block. I jump on it before he can say anything more. That sounds great. I'd love a bite to eat. My treat. Of course it's pushy, but I gotta do what I gotta do, and he's the one that offered, right? Okay, is all he says. I guess we can walk. It's just around that corner, he points. Sounds good. I take off knowing he will follow because he's too kind not to. So, do you work at the bank? I ask, even though I know the answer. Yes, Sally says. Cool. I work at the bank, the Landmark. This is a lie, but I'm working on turning it to the truth. I work next door to the bank. What do you do? I ask before he can question me. I am a fixed income analyst. I'm beginning to understand why some of his dates don't last long. He's so quiet and seems shy, so maybe they get tired of forcing conversation onto him. That sounds interesting. What kind of stuff do you do for your job? Though I know exactly what he does, I've spent hours researching his job, his family, his friends, every aspect of his life I could find on the internet. Social media is my best friend. Little does he know that I put the name from his debit card into my memory bank for later use. I knew the moment he walked in that I needed to know his name to make sure I was the one taking his order. I've always had a great memory. Comes in handy when I need to remember details of all the lies I've told in order to keep track of everything. Later on that fateful day, I searched every inch of the internet for Zain K. Ansari for 2 hours before I came up with his correct profile on a popular career profile site. He didn't have his picture, so I had to look at each and every Zain Ansari I could find. It took forever, but persistence pays off. This led me down a rabbit hole of information that took days to dissect. Think of crime boards, but with personal information, you'll begin to understand the work I went through to find out who Zain really is, and how to make him fall in love with me. Now the fun begins, and he doesn't even know what'll hit him. What I've learned is that he's from the area, went to high school here, college here, then got his first job here, working for the same bank that he does now. On paper, the guy is the ultimate bore, but I figure he must hide some of his exciting life from the world, or we can pull that out of him together. I'm ready to do whatever it takes, and I'm not giving up till I get my claws on him. Chapter 2. It has been the best week of my life. Zain and I talked for 2 hours at the diner, laughing and joking. Well, I did most of the talking, but he was having fun too. He did talk more as he opened up to me. He's shy and quiet, but that's how I prefer them. Then they don't ask too many questions and are used to a stronger woman. One of my foster parents used to call me bossy, but I preferred to call it set in my ways. I learned the hard way that you can't let anybody push you around or you'll get nowhere in life. And sometimes you have to fudge the truth a little bit. But fibs don't hurt anyone. They can be a good thing. Not everyone needs to know the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts. He insisted on paying for dinner. Well, actually, I spotted the waitress headed our way and excused myself to go to the bathroom. He'd paid for it by the time I got back, but I know he would have offered to pay. That's the kind of gentleman he is. I just know it. I thanked him and offered to pay him back, but of course he said no. He was happy to pay, so I was right. Then he walked me back and waited in his car another 40 minutes with me till the tow truck came. During the walk back, I mentioned how cold it had got and that a nice heater would be good. He agreed it was too cold to leave me out there all alone with no heat. While we waited, I made some lame story about how I had tickets to a new musical in town that my friend backed out on me, so I had an extra ticket, and would he want to come with me? Of course, I knew he would. My scouring of the internet revealed that he loved musicals and plays and all that nerdy stuff. I mean, kind of boring, but he's worth it. He gave me his number, and I said I'd text him once my phone was charged to give him all the details. Of course, my phone had full battery the whole night, but I'd turned it off. Once a tow truck pulled up, he offered to stay till we'd left for whatever shop I was getting towed to or give me a ride, but I told him I'd be okay. Truthfully, I had no money to pay a tow truck and needed to get the hell out of there before the dude tried to take my car or charge me. As soon as Zain was out of the parking lot, I raced to my car, put the spark plug back in place, and took off. Boy, was that tow truck guy pissed. He chased me half a block on foot before he gave up. To be fair, he was a half hour later than he originally said and probably had another car to tow after mine, so he'd be fine and get his money somehow. It wasn't going to be for me. Most likely, I did the guy a favor by lightening his load for the night. The next day, I texted Zain. Fingers crossed that he'd text back. I had to wait 2 grueling hours to hear from him, but he finally did and sounded excited to hear from me. Glad you got home safe, he texted back. It was nice to know he cares. Then I texted the information about the musical and asked him if I could meet him outside the theater. I'd contemplated having him pick me up, but I live in a shady hotel for now and don't want him to get the wrong idea about me. I almost wasn't able to get tickets. They were sold out, but I managed to find crazy expensive tickets on a ticket resale website. They were way too much for my piddly salary. Thank goodness I stole that credit card information off the snotty rich Karen lady who came into our coffee shop a month ago. I knew it would come in handy. She might never even notice a charge on her card, and if she does, there's no way to trace it back to me. I used the fake name and email address and burner phone I keep for moments just like this. Shirley MacLaine's going to get into some big trouble if any of this is found out. The Karen woman deserves getting a little payback anyway. She complained that her coffee was too creamy or some shit and didn't have enough flavor or sugar, so I had to make the drink again. Then, when it took too long, she demanded a free scone for wasting her time, and my manager agreed with her. Didn't even put up a fight. What a wimp. So she walked away with free food and an attitude. Probably screws lots of places out of money with all her bogus complaints. So I'm not going to feel one bit bad about charging her for those tickets. I'm doing the world a favor and teaching her a lesson. The concert was boring as hell. Took all my self-control not to fall asleep, but I made it through, and he said he had the best night. Of course he did. He was with me. Now he's on his way to pick me up from work. I still haven't landed the teller job at the bank next door, but I'm really close. I'll know they'll call any day now. I just have to flirt a few more times with the greasy old banker manager, and I'm in. The man keeps telling me he's working on it. Zain pulls up outside the bank. I jump in his Toyota Camry. I'm going to have to convince him to get a sportier car. This one is too boring. Hey, handsome. I kiss his cheek. Thanks for picking me up. You ready for the game? He's not usually into sports, but I convinced him that baseball is a great way to relax and have fun. Sure am. My first ever professional game, he grins. I still can't believe you've never been to one. This is not a lie. It's an odd thing for him to never been to a game since we have a great major league team in town. But I guess that's what happens when your mom and dad are from another country and the only sport you ever watched was soccer or cricket. I knew this would quick way to his heart. Isn't it every boy's dream to see a baseball game? You get to drink beer, eat stadium hot dogs, and chant, "Take me out to the ball game." It's going to be awesome. I'm actually excited. Sports have never really been my thing, but you've convinced me it's good to try new things. Musicals are more my jam, but I can give this a try too. Maybe I can love both. You can. The two are not mutually exclusive. I try to sound smart, but feel like I fell short. But he laughs at me anyway. I love that I can make him laugh. My dad always tried to get me to play soccer, but sports are just not my thing. I think you two would get along. You both have a love of sports. He gives me that 1,000-watt smile. So your dad took you to a lot of games as a kid? I nod. Yep, it was fun. We mostly watched the games at home on TV, but when he had the time, he'd take me to a few games a year. That's a complete lie. I never knew my father or my mother. They dumped me at a firehouse when I was 3 days old, and I have no clue who they are. I did get to watch baseball games on TV at the group homes and a few foster homes that would let me. Baseball was a way to get away from it all for a few hours. Most of the foster homes didn't care what I did or where I went, so I snuck into games once in a while. When you hover around the stadium long enough, you learn the routine of all the workers and how to slip into open doors. Got caught a few times. They just kicked me out and never called the cops. I've only once been in jail. It wasn't even my fault. Okay, fine. I've been arrested more than once, but none of them were my fault. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, I swear. Should we practice singing, he says. I found a few baseball songs to listen to on the way. This man is a major dork, but he's handsome and makes good money, so we can change that. Sounds good. Chapter 3. I get my usual morning text from Zain. Morning, I hope you have a great day. Morning, I hope you do too. These constant texts are a bit much for me, but I need to keep him happy, so I always reply. I'm not into needy men, but if this is what I have to do to find a good man that will take care of you, then I'll text him 1,000 times a day to make him fall for me. My phone buzzes again. How about I come see you at work for lunch today, he asks. My heart pounds in my ears. I don't want him anywhere near that place, for sure not inside of it. My mind races till I come up with something. I'm not sure. I think we may be one person short today, so I really may not get that long of a lunch. And if I do, it could get interrupted. Rain check? I cross my fingers. Bubbles show up, then stop, then show up again, over and over till a text pops up. Oh, okay, another time then. Thank goodness he's not confrontational at all, or that would have been much harder. Shannon, get back to work, Terry, my manager, yells at me. I hate this job. It's better than my last one, so I grab a rag and go wipe down tables. After 9 hours of work, I walk out and check my phone. I'd like to take you to dinner at that new sushi place. Can I pick you up after work? Sushi's so gross, but I don't want to tell him that yet. I'll eat raw fish if it makes him happy and take me out on dates. Though maybe this time I can convince him to go to another place. That sounds expensive. What about that Thai place on 2nd Street? It's not too much, but we could do Thai. That's great. Pick me outside of work. I can come inside. That's not necessary. I'll be outside. Why is he so set at coming into my job? What a weirdo. Shit, now I gotta go shower quick because I smell like food, then get changed and come back here. I'm glad he wants to see me, but he just saw me yesterday. I feel suffocated a bit, but brush it aside and try to appreciate the fact that he likes me enough to ask me out 2 days in a row. My plan is working so far. I knew if he just got to know me, he'd fall in love with me. He picks me up a couple hours later. I've been outside here for a half hour just in case he decided to come by early and surprise me. Thankfully, he did not. Hey, beautiful, you hungry? Starving. Thanks for changing it to Thai. I've been craving it for days. No problem. We can get sushi another time. Sounds great. We drive in silence a few blocks, and then some mushy 80s ballad comes on the radio. I consider changing the station, but something tells me he likes this lame music. These last few days have been great, and I feel like fate brought us together with your car breaking down by my work. He gives me a huge grin. Did the mushy music make him think of me? That is actually cute. Dumb, but cute. It sure was fate, I say. Far from it. I'm not telling him that. We're both so lucky. We sure are. He grabs my hand and kisses it. Your hand smells like coffee. I force a laugh. You caught me. I had an afternoon coffee. Some must have spilled on my hand. Sometimes I need an afternoon pick-me-up, too. He gives me a side smile. So how was work? Lots of customers today? A ton. We were so busy and our breaks were all over the place and broken up. They should really give you scheduled breaks, and for the correct amount of time. He wears a scowl. Sounds like they're breaking some laws. That's not good. It's fine. This kind of day is rare and I don't mind it. How was your day? I don't want to talk about me. He goes on about some dumb loan issue that I have no clue about, but I nod and make noises in agreement. At least I found one topic he seems to want to fill the silence with. Work. What kind of crazy person likes to talk about their work? He does, I guess. At the Thai place, they put us at a table near the kitchen, which is fairly loud, so talk is almost impossible, but I'm grateful. He asks too many questions sometimes. I've never been one for talking. It's loud back here, he shouts at me. I nod, then stare at the menu. He gets a few words in here and there and keeps trying to start conversation, but I'm really not in the mood tonight, so I pretend I can't hear anything he says, and eventually he gives up, and we enjoy a meal peacefully. That was loud, he says as we leave, but the food was delicious. True, it was good. It's still early. Do you want to see a movie? He asks sheepishly, as if I'd say no to him. Sure, I've been dying to see that new psychological thriller. What's it called? I rack my brain for a title. You Made Me, or something like that? Oh, okay. You don't want to see that new romantic comedy with Karen Knowles in it? No, not really my kind of movie. I like action and suspense. Worry sets in that it is his kind of movie and I failed some kind of test. Unless you'd rather see that one, I could do either. No, a thriller's good. Let's go. I'm grateful he found an activity where neither one of us can talk. Talk is so overrated. Halfway through the movie, there's a super hot sex scene that gets me all worked up, so I reach over and rub Zain's leg, then slowly move my hand up. I once had sex in the back of the theater with an old boyfriend in high school, and it was a total turn-on. I get to his crotch, and he quickly puts his hand on mine and gently slides it down his leg a bit, then holds it. Of course, sex here would be too much for him. He hasn't done much more than kiss me and touch my breasts, and that was over my clothes. But only once, for a few seconds. So old-fashioned. We need to change that. The movie ends with her killing her lover and getting away with it. Such a great movie. That was awesome, I say as we head out. It was good, he nods. Did you want to go back to your place? I give him a sexy smile. I have to get up early tomorrow, but maybe this weekend? I should probably just get you home. Do you want to show me your place? Well, my car's still at work, so you can just drop me off there, but next time... Yeah, right, more like never. He will never see where I live. Oh, right. We get to my car and I lean over to give him a kiss. His lips are warm and I'm still all revved up from the movie, so I stick my tongue into his mouth and pull him closer. He gets to point and kisses me with more passion than he has before. I take this as an invitation and rub his chest while I start to unbutton his shirt, sticking my tongue deeper down his throat. I'm so ready and wet for him. I grab his hand and put it on my breast, then reach my other hand into his shirt and rub his nipple. He moans. I knew he couldn't resist me forever. Finally, his hand starts to rub my breast. I need more, so I grab his hand and force it under my shirt. I'm not wearing a bra tonight, so they are ready and waiting for him to get handsy. He hesitates, but it's too much for him to resist, so he gently caresses the left one. I let out a groan and reach for his groin area. He's so hard and ready for me, too. I rub him, then reach for his zipper, but he pulls back. I think we should take it slow. Give him a seductive smile. We don't have to. You don't have to wait with me. I know, but I'm kind of old-fashioned and I want to wait a bit before doing this. Figures, the man is such a prude. I'm here and ready, no bra, and he is hard as rock. No man should be able to resist that. But of course, this man does. I want to scream out in frustration, but I take a deep breath instead. I understand if you change your mind. I'll be here. I lean over and give him a gentle kiss and get out of the car. Maybe watching me leave will get him rethinking his decision. I waved at him as he pulls away. It would have been nice to go back to his place, get him into bed, and spend the night in his arms instead of going back to my empty, cold hotel room in the worst part of town. But it's the only place I can afford. They rent the rundown, dirtiest hell rooms by the week, and they don't ask for deposits or do background checks. Soon enough, I'll be out of there and into Zane's bed. Chapter 4. Are you sure you don't mind? I ask Zain, forcing a tear to fall as I pull out the backpack from my car with what few belongings I still have. Well, what I've decided to keep before getting rid of the rest. It was all crap anyway, and I had to make it look believable. Couldn't show up with all my things. He'd for sure be suspicious. I'm excited for you to stay with me. I have the extra room, and I can't let you stay in some shady hotel. It's tragic that your apartment burned down. I'm glad I can be here to help you. Plus, you'll find a new place to stay in no time. Yep, I lie. I have no intention of finding a new place. Sure, I'll look and complain about something wrong with each and every apartment I find until he falls madly in love with me and asks me to stay permanently. You're the best. I plant a kiss on his lips. I owe you. What can I ever do to pay you back? Takes the bag from me. You owe me nothing. Let's get you something to eat. Zane's home is amazing. It has tons of windows that overlook the hill below. Then the porch leads out to a pool and hot tub. There's even a huge room in the basement for entertaining with flat-screen TV and bar in the corner. I knew the guy made money, but this even impressed me. I mean, my internet search showed he owned the house, and I'd seen pictures of the place online of what it looked like before he bought it. But he's done so much work on it since, and most of the upgrades are new. The windows, pool, and basement are the biggest changes, but he even upgraded the entire kitchen and bathroom. They looked fine before, so I'm not sure why he spent the money on it. Not something I would have done, but it looks great. What would you like? I can cook burgers or hot dogs or make spaghetti. I love that the man can cook. Foster care was not the best place to learn, so I could barely make boxed mac and cheese. I ate a lot of fast food and snacks. I'm not sure I've ever really cooked myself a real meal. A burger sounds delicious. Burger it is. He pulls out the ingredients from the fridge. So did the fire department or your landlord ever find out how the fire started? It sounds like maybe bad wiring or something. That place was pretty old and the landlord didn't seem to want to fix anything, so it's not a surprise. All this is a complete lie, but not so far from the truth. Of course I couldn't have Zain finding out I lived in a shady hotel. He kept asking me to come to my place. Would not let it go. I told him his place was nicer and made every excuse I could to always end up at his place, but he asked every time we went out. I got sick of it. Finally, one night after a date, I told him to drive me home to this apartment building that was close to my hotel, and told him I lived upstairs on the top floor, and that I'd love to invite him up, but that I had a terrible roommate that worked super early and would bitch at me if I woke her up coming home this late with a man. It seemed to satisfy him. Then on the next date, he suggested he go home earlier with me to meet her. I told him she was throwing a baby shower for a friend at our place, and even I didn't want to be there right now, but that for sure he could meet her the next time. Then I made sure there was no next time, so I torched the place. Of course, I didn't start the fire when people were there. That would be crazy. It was the middle of the day. I knocked on all the doors, made sure nobody was around to witness it, then started the fire by taking one of those grill lighters and holding it to some paper. I stuck in the hole in the wall where the wires entered the building in the back till it was good and burning. Then I waited another half hour to make sure the fire didn't go out and took off. Thank goodness the place was super old, so it burned fast and there was no chance to save it. It was a perfect excuse for me to never bring Zain there again. What's even more amazing is that all my lying led me to this moment right here, where I get my foot in Zane's door and I'm never taking it out. Of course, he wouldn't offer to let me stay if he didn't already want me to live here. He's just too shy to ask me directly. I know he wants this as much as I do. That's crazy. I'm so thankful you weren't at home when it happened. It's too bad that you lost everything. Have you contacted your renter's insurance? You should get at least some money back to cover your losses. He's such a nerd. What the hell is renter's insurance? Is that for rich people? I will. I'm overwhelmed at everything. Plus, they won't be able to replace all the memories and everything from my past. Those things are priceless. Gone forever. All my old baseball stuff and memories from my father. I cover my face and fake burst into tears. Oh, Shannon, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry. He rushes to my side and pulls me into a hug. I add body shakes to make sure it's more dramatic. You poor thing. I'll stop asking questions till you're ready to talk about it. I should have known better than bring it up. I squeeze him but say nothing, knowing the guilt trip is working. The man is very quizzical. He asks lots of questions, so I have to do way more avoiding and acting than I have in my entire life. But I'm ready for the challenge and so ready to push this all the way. This whole fire thing worked out to my advantage in many ways. I get to move in with Zain. Now I have a reason why I don't have many clothes and zero belongings from my past. I pull away. Eventually it'll get easier to talk about. I force a weak smile. It will get better, and I'll be here to help. He hugs me again. First on the list is getting you some food. Who taught you to cook? My mom. Her food is amazing. You'll get to try it this Sunday. You're still able to make it, right? Wouldn't miss it. Actually, most of me wants nothing to do with meeting his parents just yet, but I can't put it off for forever, so why not rip the Band-Aid off quickly? The only thing going for me is that they're originally from Pakistan. They moved to America for his father's job over 20 years ago. I figure this means they have a very conservative view on marriage and women working outside the home. In all of my wildest dreams as an orphan, I never thought I'd actually find a man who could take care of me. I dreamed of being swept away by a man who insisted on giving me everything I ever wanted and not letting me lift a finger to help. I told myself I'd do everything I could to get a man like that, even if that means I have to have babies for him. Zane's handsome and would make cute babies. I have no idea if he wants kids, but we can work that out later. Plus, there's always ways to get out of being pregnant, ways that sound tragic, demand sympathy, and work to my advantage. But that will come in time. All I know is that this man is the closest thing I've ever come to my dream, and I'm not going to ever let him go. Chapter 5. You know you don't have to do this. I can wait till I get the insurance money or max out my credit card till then. First you let me stay with you, and now you're buying me clothes. It's too much. I try not to lay it on too thick because truly I'm looking forward to this shopping spree, and it's not too much at all. Everything is moving along exactly as I'd hoped, and this man is already getting used to having me in his life, taking care of me and my needs. No, I'm happy to do it. You only have a few things to wear, and you need to dress nice for your job, so please let me do this for you, he pleads. I fake a sigh. I do need work clothes for Monday, but I'll pay you back when I get the insurance check. Another lie. There will be no insurance check because, of course, I had no insurance, and none of my shit actually burned in a fire. I had no idea there was even such a thing for renters until Zain, so matter of fact, said I'll just get a big payout from insurance. Thank goodness for the internet, or I'd have no idea what he's talking about. Of course I had to pretend I had it. Couldn't look like an idiot or poor. I'm just betting on the fact that he won't really ever ask me to pay him back. He's too nice, and even if he does, I'll think of some excuse why I never got a check. It'll all work out. So where to first, he asks. Walmart, I meekly suggest, not wanting to push it. He shakes his head. No, you need good clothes. How about Macy's or JCPenney? My mom loves those two stores. If there's somewhere else you had in mind, we could do that. I guess I do like Macy's. The store is amazing. I used to go there all the time to get 5-finger discounts till one of the clerks suspected me and followed me around every time she saw me in the store. I haven't been back for over a year due to that harassment. Macy's it is. He steps on the gas and off we go. It was nice of the bank to let you take a few days off. Maybe I should get a job there. Yeah, it's a great place to work. I wish he'd stop bringing the place up. I've applied to every job there and still not heard back. The sleazy old manager that comes to the coffee shop keeps telling me he's putting my name out there to HR, but I'm starting to doubt him. Most of me figured I'd get a call right away. The experience I wrote on the application was spot on. All of it was either half-truths or total lies, but they'd never find out, right? Places don't actually call the references you write down, do they? I should get a call any day now. Until then, I'm still at the coffee shop next door. They cut my hours because I told them I couldn't work nights or Sundays anymore. Can't very well keep working those hours and keep up the lie about my job at the bank. Bankers don't have night hours. My schedule's been cut drastically, but it'll be fine. Everything is fine. Here we are. He parks and we head inside. Of course, the woman who hounded me is here. I turn my head so she can't see my face. Let's go check out the dress pants. The woman's department seems to be jewelry and other accessories, so if we avoid that section, maybe she won't see me. Did you want to try things on and model them for me? He grins. I'm a great judge of fashion. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Maybe we should move to the lingerie section. I wink at him. His face turns red. Maybe next time. The man is the biggest prude I've ever met. We still haven't had sex, and it's been 4 weeks since I started dating, and I've been living with him for 3 days. I assumed he would go slow, but not this slow. He won't even share a room with me. Told me to put my stuff in the spare bedroom for now, with an embarrassed smile on his face. I have 0 sexy clothes, so I've done my best with what I have. This entails walking around a few times in only my towel and wearing my swimsuit as often as I can with him around. Nothing's done him in yet. I know I'm sexy, but the man is so old-fashioned, it'll take some work, but I'll get there. What about this? He holds up a set of black slacks and matching top. It looks like something a grandmother would wear. I'm not trying that on. Maybe. This is more my style. I hold up a tight-fitting stretchy chest pants and form-fitting short-sleeved shirt. That looks a bit tight. Do they let you wear that at work? Yep. Though I have no clue, but it's in the work clothes section, so someone must. An hour later, I've tried on a dozen different outfits and decided to keep all of them. It'll be hundreds of dollars, but Zain doesn't bat an eye. Excuse me, you're not allowed in this store, ma'am. Of course, that nosy bitch spotted me. I think you have me mistaken for someone else. I turn and lead Zain to the register. I don't think so. I know exactly who you are, and I want you out of here or I will call the manager. What an overreaction. She puts her hands on her hips and stares me down. There's no need for that. Zain steps between us. This is a case of mistaken identity. Let me purchase these and we'll be out of your way. He's much calmer than I would be. You can purchase your items, but she needs to leave immediately. The woman is so pushy. Or we can get the cops involved. I'm good with either. You're crazy, lady. She's getting on my nerves. Fine, call the cops. They'll be mad you're wasting their time. Shannon, how about you wait for me in the car? He hands me the keys. I'll pay for these and be right up. Fine, but I still don't like getting harassed by this strange woman. I know, but please meet me out there. He turns to the woman. We don't want any trouble. I hand over the clothes and rush out of the store. It was stupid of me to suggest this place, but they have the best clothes, and I didn't really get caught stealing. Plus, it was a year ago. You'd think they'd have forgotten who I was by now. What nosy jerks. 5 minutes later, Zain gets in the truck. What was that about? The lady was saying you'd been banned from the store for life for suspected stealing? I have no idea what she's talking about. I've never seen that woman before today, and that was humiliating. I've never been treated that terrible in my life. I burst into tears, thankful for all the practice in the system as a kid to get my way. Tears always seem to work. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. She obviously had you confused with someone else. He pulls me in for a hug. She was so rude. I wonder if she saw you with me and jumped to conclusions. I am a man of color. Maybe she's a bit racist. Then you looked like someone she thought she knew and she decided to take it all out on you. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what was wrong with her, but I'm never going back there. Poor man thinks it's all his fault. I guess that's better than him finding out she's telling the truth about me. Me either. Do you want to call their headquarters and put in a formal complaint? I got her name. This might not be the first time she's done this kind of thing to someone. No, I'd rather just put it behind us. There's no way I want him even considering calling. I'd rather forget it never happened. Okay, let's go get some food, then go somewhere else. We're not done yet today, and I don't want this to ruin your day. You still need more clothes. I wipe my tears and kiss his cheek. You're the best. Chapter 6. You're going to love my mom, Zain gushes. She's the best mother I could ever ask for, and she simply adores me, so there's that. Of course she does, who wouldn't? A nervous panic runs through me. We're on our way to Sunday dinner with his parents. Thank goodness he doesn't have any siblings. I could not deal with more than the parents right now. I hope they like me. He squeezes my leg. Of course they will, who wouldn't? He repeats my words back to me. We pull into the driveway and I follow him to the front door. He knocks and lets himself in. Hey, Mom, it's me, he yells. Oh, honey, come inside. I'm in the kitchen. He leads me through the door. In the kitchen, we find her next to the stove full of pots and pans cooking amazing-smelling dishes. Oh, my handsome boy, it's so good to see you. She pulls him in for a huge hug. You just saw me a week ago, Mom. I know, but I always miss you when you leave. This must be Shannon. Oh, how great to finally meet you. She reaches out to me for a hug. It surprises me because I've never been much of a hugger, but I give in. Zain has told us all about you, all good things. She gives me a smile. I see where Zain gets his good looks. This is not a lie. She has the most gorgeous brown eyes and silky black hair. Why, thank you, my dear. You are too kind. You are beautiful yourself. Thank you, and thank you for inviting me. The food smells delicious. I'm uncomfortable and try to shift the attention elsewhere. You will not be disappointed. Zain grins at his mom. She's the best cook. Oh, you're too sweet. Now go say hi to your father. He kisses her cheek, then leads me to the living room. His father's watching a soccer game. Hey, Dad. Hey, son. This must be Shannon. Nice to meet you, young lady. He puts out his hand, so I take it and give it a solid shake. People respect a good handshake. It tells them you're not a weak person. Nice to meet you. Your home is beautiful. This is only a partial lie. The home is impeccably clean and adorned in all kinds of colorful silks and beautiful brass decorations, though it is a bit cluttered and on the small side. Zain's home is so much nicer and more modern. I prefer his taste in decor, and I'm thankful his mother didn't help him decorate it. Thank you. Let's sit and talk. In this moment, I have to make a choice. Sit here and please his father or go offer to help with the mother. Zain is a mama's boy, so I know which will have more effect on my standing in the future. Maybe I should go help your mom? She'd like that. Zain gives me a smile. I look forward to talking with you later, I say to Ahmad, though I'm hoping he doesn't try to ask me a million questions. I have a whole set of answers prepared, but still hate talking about myself and worry I may get caught in a lie. They can't help but want to make sure their son is with someone they like and know well, but can't they just trust his good judgment? Hi, Mina. Can I give you a hand? I'm not the best cook, but if you tell me what to do, I will try my hardest to get it right. That would be wonderful. How about you stir the fried rice for now? Then I may have you cut up some onions. I can do that. So tell me about Pakistan. I've never been there and would love to see it one day. Pictures show a gorgeous country with so much culture. I want to start the conversation off on the right track for me. Oh, it really is a beautiful country. I miss it every day, but it's better for Zain here, so we never moved back. Eventually, some of our family moved here, so it's less lonely, and we do try to go back every couple of years. I managed to interject enough questions in the conversation that between that and directing me on what to do in the kitchen, she doesn't get the chance to ask me anything too personal. I know the questions will come, but would prefer to hold it off as long as I can. A half hour later, I'm forcing the food down. It tastes great, but is way spicier than I'm used to, and my mouth is on fire. I'm going to feel this later, too. It's torture, but I managed to eat everything on my plate, thanks to the bread and a gallon of water to help tame the burn. That was delicious. I hope to learn more recipes from you in the future. I try not to lay it on too thick. That would be lovely. With a little guidance, you could learn a lot. My lack of cooking skills must have been obvious. So Zain here tells me you grew up with just your father? I nod. My mother died when I was 2 in a car accident. Dead parents make people feel bad, so they ask less questions. Oh, I'm so sorry, my dear. That must have been hard. She gives me a sympathetic look. I was so little, I don't remember her, and my dad was a great dad. Sadly, he passed from colon cancer a year ago. I forced a tear from my eye. He was in so much pain in the end. I'm glad his suffering is over, but I miss him terribly. Zain pats my hand with his. Sounds like he was a great father. He really was, I nod. He taught me how to play baseball, ride bike, and was just really the best. He made me miss my mom a little less because he was such a great dad. There's an uncomfortable silence, and I'm not going to fill it. So Zain says you work at the Landmark? Ahmad asks. Yes, I'm a teller there. It's a great place to work. That's lovely. Zain loves banking. He tells me what he does all the time, but it's above my head. Amina giggles. His father is an engineer, as you have may been told, so he got his love of numbers from him. I prefer to keep the home in the best shape, and cooking is my passion, but raising Zain was my greatest accomplishment. He's amazing, isn't he? She gushes at him. Oh, Mom. Zain's face turns red. I'm amazing because of you. All this mushiness is going to make me sick. He's great. You did a wonderful job raising him. Your home is amazing, and you are an excellent cook. I look forward to more lessons. My father was never a great cook, so it would be an honor to learn from you. I try to praise her and get sympathy at the same time, but realize I keep saying the same things. I need to get a hold of the words coming out of my mouth. That would be wonderful, my dear. Did Zain tell you that one of my coworkers owns some duplex apartments and may have an apartment opening up next week? It's a 1-bedroom in a good part of town at a fair price. We heard about the fire and want you to know that we are here to help you find a new place. Ahmad smiles as he says this, but I can read the concern in his voice. Yes, thank you. I hate to impose on Zain for too long. It's a bit improper, I suppose. Ahmad nods his head but says nothing. Oh dear, she just lost everything. Let's not push her into anything that is not of our concern. Amina scolds her husband, though you can tell it's only half-hearted. I'm just trying to help, he shrugs. I knew living with Zain, unmarried, would be an issue with his conservative parents. Hope they'd keep it to themselves. Not my luck. Do all parents intrude in their child's lives like this? Maybe it's a good thing I don't have any. I'd hate having someone tell me they don't approve of my life the whole damn time. I appreciate your help. Dad, Shannon took me to a baseball game, and I think you'd really enjoy going to one. I'm not so sure. Dad, you need to give it a try. It really was a lot of fun. It's not as exciting as soccer, but the rules are fun to learn and the food is amazing. I could kiss Zain right there for veering the conversation away from me. Chapter 7. It's been 2 weeks since I moved in, and everything is perfect. Well, I mean, not everything is perfect, but between us it's perfect. We finally slept together. It took a little effort on my part, but it was worth it. I'd been pushing the limit for days, each time taking things a little further, getting him to remove more clothes each time or do more sexy acts with me. I can only do blowjobs and him going down on me so many times before I was going to lose it on him. One night we ordered in Chinese food. I opened a bottle of wine and we drank more than normal. One thing led to another and I got him into bed. He didn't last long, of course, but the next time was longer. Of course, the THC I added to his drink might have pushed him a little over the edge. I tell myself it only helped him relax and lose himself to me like he wanted, but his conservative views were holding him back. The morning after was a bit rougher than I had hoped. He woke up confused and a bit groggy, but he smiled at me, a bit embarrassed that he couldn't remember. I assured him that it was amazing and what we'd been hoping for. Then I kissed him and took him one more time to seal the deal. It was a bit awkward at first, but he got into it, and the rest is history. Turns out he's only been with one other person, his girlfriend from college, Shannon. They dated for 3 years till she cheated on him with her professor. She ruined her for a few years after that. But now he's over her and happier with me. I will never cheat on him. I've been sleeping in his bed ever since and fulfilling every one of his sexual desires at night. It didn't take him long to be wrapped around my finger. Good morning, handsome, I coo. Hey, he smiles back. You in the mood for a fun morning quickie? He looks at the clock. I would, but I have to get to work early today. We have this regional meeting and I have to present my work to the department heads. I'm a bit nervous. Don't be. You're going to be awesome. Give him a devilish grin, but it would help you relax. I slide my hands to his boxers. He smiled. Tonight, I need to shower and get going. He gets out of bed and heads to the bathroom. You still planning on meeting me at Jay's Shrimp Shack tonight? Yes, I'll meet you there at 5:30. I have zero desire to meet his friends, but I've avoided it as long as I can. There's only so many excuses I can create before he'd start to suspect something. Don't be nervous. They will love you. 9 hours later, after a long, grueling shift of delivering takeout to people, I pull up to Jay's. I like my new job. At the coffee shop, I had to deal with customers in person, and so many of them complained about the dumbest shit. Plus, they let me go since I missed too many shifts. I mean, I had good reason. What a dumb rule. At least with this job, I get to choose my own hours, and I don't have to deal with any customers directly. They all want you to drop off the food at the door and leave. Some of them tip really well, and the ones that don't get a little extra flavor added to their food by me. Just my way of getting back at the cheap assholes. I'm not looking forward to this dinner, but it's one I need to get out of the way. Zain has 3 close work friends he's been pushing me to meet, and I've put it off long enough. I check my reflection and head inside. He's in a round booth and waves me over when he spots me. "Everyone, this is Shannon." He kisses my cheek. "This is Tiana, Marcus, and Terry." I nod at them as they say hi. "It's great to finally meet you all." Tiana smiles. "We thought you were avoiding us." This one's going to be pushy. I can already sense it. It seems like it, didn't it? Life's been busy and my world is a little bit a mess after my apartment burned down. I lost so much. I'm playing the sympathy card for this one. Marcus frowns. "That sounds like it was rough. I can't even imagine." "It has been, but I'm lucky to have this great man in my life to help me get through it." I smile at Zain. "He is a great guy," Tiana agrees. The look on her face makes me wonder if she has feelings for Zain. Does he know? He never said they dated before. Zain can be pretty naive. He probably has no clue. Maybe she's tried and he turned her down. But why would he? She's very pretty. I'd have to say she could even be prettier looking than me. I have to dig deeper into this one. The waitress comes to my rescue and gets our drink orders, and the talk turns to the menu. But I know the conversation will come back to me, so I stay on guard, keeping an eye on Tiana more than the other 2. She definitely has feelings for Zain, and I fight the urge to crawl across the table and choke her. "So what is it that you guys do at the bank?" I try to steer the talk away from me. They each fill me in on their positions. I did some research online with all the possible bank jobs out there, so I wouldn't get caught in any lies. Of course, they all think I work as a bank teller, so I should know what they each do. The landmark never got back to me, and I find that very irritating. I almost walked in there and demanded to talk to the manager, but figured that would make me look crazy. So I decided to watch the bank instead and learn which car the guy drove. Then I followed him home and slashed his tires one night. Jerk thinks he can just ignore me. Now I have to apply to other banks, since it seems like this one isn't going to call me. "So do you like the landmark?" Tiana asks. "How long have you worked there? Did you graduate from college?" "Whoa, so many questions," Terry interjects. "Is this an interrogation?" He laughs. Tiana fake laughs with him. "I'm just trying to get to know Shannon." She gives me a look, and I want to slap her in the face, but I resist. "It's fine. It's a great place to work. I've been there 3 years, and I graduated with an associate's degree in finance." "Oh, where'd you go?" "I went to Gateway College." I had to look that one up. It was the biggest 2-year college in the state, and would be harder to catch me in a lie about. "Did you like it there?" "Yeah, it was a great experience, though I hated high school so much that I never graduated, so I'm positive I'd hate college even more. Who the hell pays to go to school? Idiots is who. Sometimes I deal with Lucy in the loan department over there at your branch. She told me she's never heard of a Shannon. This bitch has been looking into me." I laugh it off, even though my face must be beet red. When I first started working there, someone called me Anna by mistake, and it just kind of stuck. So no one calls me Shannon there, even though it's on my name tag. I can't even remember who it was that started it. Maybe John? There must be a John that works there. There's Johns everywhere. "Huh, that's odd," is all she says, confusion written all over her face. The waitress comes with our food. I slide my glass out of the way, but not fast enough. Sure enough, she hits it with her elbow and spills the contents all over my dinner in my lap. "Oh," I say in shock, grateful it worked. "Oh my God." The waitress looks at me in horror. "I am so sorry. Let me get me napkins." She rushes off. Zain grabs his napkin and tries to stop more liquid from falling onto me. "You are soaked." "Just a little. I'll be fine." I try to play it off as nothing. "That glass was full, and your entire outfit is soaked. Did you want me to complain to her manager?" he asks. "No, it was an accident. It's no one's fault. And your food is ruined." "It's okay. Everything's fine." I force a lone tear to fall from my face and wipe it away, but not till after Zain sees. "Maybe we should head home and get you dry clothes." "I'm fine. I can dry." I force a weak smile. "No, you're too wet. I can't let you sit like that for another hour. It'll be too uncomfortable. Sorry, guys. We'll need to head out." He pulls a few 20s from his wallet and puts them on the table. It was so great to meet all of you. I give them my best smile. We have to get together soon, and hopefully next time I'll stay dry. I force a laugh. Marcus chuckles. That would be good. I rush us out of there before Tiana can convince Zain to stay. Chapter 8. Have a good day at the conference. I kiss Zain goodbye. I hate it when they hold these things on weekends, he huffs. It won't be so bad. You get free food and you might learn something. I'm excited to spend the day here by myself, soaking up the sun and swimming in the pool, drinking all his wine. This is a perfect temperature outside and sunny. I'm still not excited to go. I'd rather stay here with you. I know, but you must. Now take your coffee, give me a kiss, and go, or you'll be late. You know my coffee intake has doubled since you moved in. How is it you make such great coffee? It's a natural skill I was just born with. Now go, I laugh. Fine, see you later tonight. He kisses me, gets in his car, and takes off. I never knew how smothering a real relationship could be. Zain's always around and needing my attention. Finally I get a moment to myself in this beautiful house. After last night with his coworkers, I need time to decompress, and I get to snoop without the fear of him finding me. I knew Tiana was going to be trouble, but then she dug right in and almost accused me of lying about working there. I mean, I am lying, but how rude of her to look into me and ask such questions. It's none of her business. After I add Kahlua to my coffee, I get into my bikini, turn on the music loud, and head out to the pool. 40 minutes later, I hear the doorbell, but choose to ignore it. It's not anybody coming here for me, so forget them. Person decides today's the day they want to be as annoying as fuck. They keep ringing the bell over and over and over, not letting up for 5 whole minutes, so go answer it. Tiana is standing there, hands on her hips and pissy look on her face. Took you long enough to answer the door. Flash her smile. I'm sorry, I was out back, and with this loud music, I didn't hear the doorbell. Zain's not here. He'll be back later if you want to come back then. I know he's not here. That's precisely why I came. Can I come in? She pushes her way into the house before I have a chance to answer. Sure, come on in. What can I do for you, Tiana? I try to sound calmer than I really am. I came here to let you know that I asked my friend Lucy about a woman with your description being called Anna working at her bank, and she said no. No one who looks like you has worked there since she's been at that branch for 4 years, and neither has a John. There has never been a John, Shannon, or Anna there ever in her time in the branch, so I know you're lying. I came here to confront you and tell you that you'd better tell Zain or I will. She stares me down. I have no idea what you're talking about, Tiana. Personally, I think you have a crush on Zain and he turned you down. So now you would do anything to ruin any relationship he's in unless it's with you. Surprise is written all over her face. That has nothing to do with this. You are lying. He needs to know. Zain deserves better than you. So he did turn you down. I grin at her. What was so wrong with you that he said no? I'm trying to get under her skin. There's nothing wrong with me. Zain has morals and values and doesn't date colleagues, and I respect him. He deserves respect, and you lying is a far cry from that. Now you need to tell him or else. Or else what? What will you do? I take a step towards her. She hesitates. Like I said, I will tell him. No, I don't think so. You see, Zain loves me and will believe me, and if you try to butt into this relationship, he will think you're just jealous and try to ruin it with lies, so good luck with that. Turn around and stomp to the kitchen. I'm going to need more than Kahlua after this. She follows me. He will believe me. How could he not? I will tell him all my proof and tell him to call or visit the bank himself. I spin around, seething with anger. Just leave me alone, Tiana. He's happy with me. Let him be happy, you jealous bitch. She steps back at my anger. You're crazy. No, you're the crazy one. Involving yourself in Zain's life because you can't face rejection? Let it go. He's mine. Not for long. She turns around to leave, but I can't let her. Zain can never know that I lied. Panic sets in and I see red. Without thinking, I pull a knife from the butcher block and stab her in the back. Pull it out and stab her again and again till she falls. Holy shit. What have I done? Why can't I control myself? I should have just let her leave. Zain wouldn't believe her anyway. I pace the room. What do I do now? I can't leave her here or call the cops. No one will believe me that this was self-defense, but it was. She was threatening me, threatening my life. She deserved every bit of it. I need to think. I need to get myself under control. I can figure this out. I'm a smart, resourceful woman. It's not my fault Tiana's crazy and came at me with these accusations, and I had to defend myself, defend my life with Zain. Not exactly sure what to do yet. I just decided she needs to not be found here. I find an old blanket in the back room closet. Sure one won't be missed. I wrap her up in it. Next, I grab her keys, pull her SUV into the garage. I can't very well have anyone see me putting a body into it. Then I drag her body to the garage. She's so heavy. The woman is not huge, just a few inches taller than me, but it feels like she weighs 200 pounds. It takes every ounce of energy I have and over 50 minutes for me to get her into the back seat. Then I grab her phone, pull up her maps, hoping she has home set. I'm in luck. But first, I need to go clean up just in case Zain shows up before I get back. I can't very well have him find a pool of blood on the floor. He'd ask questions. It takes another hour to get all the blood off the floor and any splatter I can find, but the house smells way too much like bleach, so I open all the windows to air it out and drive to her house. I panic for a moment when I see she lives in a condo, till I realize a garage is attached to her house and pull inside. It's easier to get her out of the car than it was to get her in. There doesn't seem to be any blood on the seat since I put plastic bags down first, but there's a few drops on the door frame, so I wipe that up. Then I berate myself for not saving any of the blood from cleanup to put on the scene. The cops are sure to know she wasn't killed here, but I don't know what else to do. It's too late now. I decide to drop her face down in the kitchen and do a few compressions on her chest. Maybe some blood will come out and make it look partly believable. It's the best I've got. Next, I go everywhere in her house with gloves, of course. At least I remembered that, and make it look like a robbery gone wrong. Take all her jewelry, computer, prescription pills, and anything else that can remotely be of value. Throw it in a bag and take off. I use her phone to make it about halfway home on foot before I recognize where I am again. Then I bust her phone and throw it in a dumpster a few blocks away from a bus stop and hitch a ride home. When I get there, I tuck the bag away in the back of a crawl space in the attic area and make sure all the blood is cleaned up before I am able to relax and drink myself into a stupor. Chapter 9. There are policemen here to talk to you? Zain looks concerned and scared. Oh, okay. About what? I know exactly what. Most of me knew this day would come, but I really hoped they wouldn't figure things out. I'd hoped they'd assign the dumb cops to this case. They want to talk to you about Tiana? Why would they want to talk to you about her? I shrug. I have no idea. It's been a week since Tiana decided to interfere in my relationship. I was terrified and relieved at the same time that she hadn't been discovered the first 3 days. But that's Tuesday I got a text from Zain that she was found dead in our house. People worry that she didn't show up for work 2 days in a row and also didn't call in, so her coworkers pushed to have the cops do a well check, and there she was, lying on the floor. Of course, I have shown sympathy, but it's a bit much dealing with his sadness. Who gets so worked up over a coworker? It makes me wonder if he had feelings for her too. Maybe he did want to date her, and he's sad he can't now. But then I tell myself he loves me, so he can't have feelings for her. He's just a nice man who cares about people. I follow him to the living room. Shannon Brown? I'm Officer Rice, and this is Officer Ricks. We have a few questions for you about Tiana Gonzalez. Do you have a moment? Okay. I'm not sure how I can help. I only met her once, but I'll try. I sit down and they take the seat across from me. Officer Rice speaks again. So I'm sure you've heard that Tiana was murdered. It appears as though it happened on the Saturday before she was found on the 15th. We are wondering where you were on that day. I was here all day. Zain went to a conference, and I just spent the day here by the pool listening to music and drinking just a little too much. When I left for the conference at 8:30, she was here, and she was extremely drunk and passed out on the couch when I got home at 6 that night, he says with a grim look on his face. Does he think I'm involved in this? He can't, can he? Officer Ricks takes notes while Officer Rice stares me down. You were here the whole time, never left, never saw anyone else? No, I never left or saw anyone. Can I ask what this is about? I give my best confused look. It appears as though Tiana's phone records show her near this location on Saturday before her death. Is it true that she showed up here to talk to you? I open my eyes wide and open my mouth in shock. No, I never saw Tiana on Saturday. Like I said, I only saw her the one time, that Friday, the night before Zain organized a dinner for me to meet his coworkers. That was the one and only time I talked to her. We weren't even there very long. Someone matching your description was seen leaving her condo late Saturday morning. Can you explain that to me? Officer Rice tries to intimidate me with his lies. No, officer, I cannot. I was here all day. As far as I know, she was never here. I was relaxing by the pool, and the music may be a little too loud. At one point, I may have fallen asleep for a little nap, but no one ever stopped by here. Is it possible she has a friend that lives near here? She does not. She told her best friend that she was headed here to confront you about some job. Officer Rice is not letting up. Can't believe that bitch talked about me to others. I pushed my anger aside. Well, I did not talk to her. Maybe she headed here and then changed her mind when she realized she was wrong. I know I shouldn't have said that last part, but it comes out. Officer Ricks finally speaks. We would like permission to check your phone records. Of course. I have nothing to hide. That's the biggest lie I've told yet. I have everything to hide. First of all, the fact that my real name is not even Shannon Brown. But at least I don't do too much on my phone, and I have a second one for all the shady stuff that no one knows about. Plus, I'm smart enough to leave them both behind when I took her home. I'm not stupid. I know that they can check phones, so I left them here. Would you like to take my phone? I'd need it back, of course. That won't be necessary just yet. We'll need you to sign this form giving us permission to get the records from the company. Rick slides over a sheet of paper. I sign it and force myself to cry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cry. This is a bit much, and when I get emotional or stressed, I just cry. Please ignore me. Is there anything else I can do to help? We will check your phone and your alibi and get back to you. We'll have more questions. Officer Rice takes the sheet from me. Why would you be stressed? Officer Ricks interjects. I've never had police ask me these kinds of questions. I've never been in trouble in my life, and it's a bit hard on the emotions is all. Right. Officer Ricks doesn't believe a word I'm saying. Don't leave town. They get up and leave. Most of me wants to run and hide, but instead I turn to face Zain. That was scary and odd. I have no idea what they're talking about. Tiana never stopped here. Friday was the only time I ever saw her. My phone will show that I was here all day. Why would she tell her friend she's coming here to confront you? And what does she need to confront you about? I have no idea. Maybe the friend is confused, or maybe she's jealous. I wasn't going to say anything, but it was obvious to me she's jealous of our relationship and wanted to get under my skin at dinner with those false statements about me. Do you guys have a past together? I tried to turn the tables on him. Have you dated her? No, her and I never dated. He looks away, and I know he's not telling me everything. But she wanted to date you. She asked you out, didn't she? She did, but nothing ever came of it. I told her I have a hard rule that I don't date coworkers, that I thought she was great and beautiful, but could not get past the rule and didn't want to ruin our working relationship. So you wanted to date her? You think she's beautiful? Do you wish you had dated her? I pushed harder than I should. No, well, I mean, maybe if she wasn't my colleague. I don't know, but it wasn't going to happen, and that's what I told her. This is not about me. Well, I don't think she was past the issue and was trying to do everything she could to get between us. I'm not sure she's the nice person you think she is. What kind of woman spreads lies to get a man she's obsessed with to leave his girlfriend? I shake my head. This is all too much. I don't like that I'm getting accused of even possibly being a part of anything related to Tiana when I only met her once just because she can't get over you and may turn out to be a crazy stalker. What are you talking about? Tiana's not a stalker. She's not crazy. She was just concerned about who you were and wanted to learn more about you was all. I need a moment to absorb all this. It's too much. I feel like you let her persuade you into thinking less of me instead of defending me and telling her to mind her own business. I need time to think about you and this situation. I don't like being part of it one bit. I know this could push him away from me slightly, but it could also be the only way to get him to feel bad enough to leave the issue alone. Making him feel guilty may be the only option I have at this point. I need you to give me space today to let this all sink in. I take off for the spare bedroom and hope this move is the right one. Chapter 10. I lay there staring at Zain. Things were a bit rough for 2 days after the cops came around asking questions. It took every bit of acting and crying that I had in me to convince him that I knew nothing, that I'm not a liar, and that Tiana was just a jealous woman, and it was terrible what happened to her. After the first day, I decided to add some of that helpful THC to his drink the next night, and things went much better. It made him a bit more receptive to the fact that Tiana was probably upset about our relationship and that she was trying to come between us. He started to see things my way. I've never been a religious person, but I prayed like crazy that he wouldn't call the landmark and ask about me, and the cops wouldn't find out that my name isn't really Shannon, that Shannon Brown is someone made up, and that my real name is Lucy Wright. I stopped using that name 2 years ago when I shot my boyfriend and our sleazy neighbor after I caught him cheating on me with her in our bed when he thought I was at work. The rage that bubbled up inside of me that day was more than I could handle. I grabbed his gun out of the drawer and just went in shooting. Then I realized the whole neighborhood probably heard the shots and the cops would be on their way. So I grabbed what shit I could, his stash of cash, and took off and never looked back. So far, it hasn't caught up with me yet. How can they find me? Lacey died that day with him. Eventually, after weeks of pimping myself out on the streets for cash, I found a guy who got me a fake identity and have been Shannon Brown ever since. I finally was able to stop letting men use me for money 7 months ago. That's when I got the job at the coffee shop. Not long after that, Zain showed up in my life. Well, if I need extra cash, I will take a John here and there, but not since I started dating Zain. Well, okay, twice after, but I really needed the money, and they were clean. Good morning, he says to me as he wakes up. Hey, handsome. I press my lips to his, caress his back, and wrap my leg around his hip to pull him closer. He reacts to my body with a moan and kisses me gently, rolling onto his back and pulling me on top of him. He's instantly hard, and I'm wet and ready for him. I take him all in and rock back and forth as I rub his chest. He reaches up to massage my breasts. In no time, I push us over the edge, and I relax into his arms. That was a nice way to wake up, he laughs. It was. We should do it again. I caress his chest and pinch his nipple. After we eat, I'm starving, and we have to get to work. We could call in sick, I plead. Not today. I have too many things to do at work. Maybe another day? Though he's too much of a rule follower to ever play hooky for a day. Okay, but we will come back to this tonight. I go shower, get dressed, and then make my way to the kitchen, but stop dead in my tracks. Good morning, Shannon. Officer Rice gives me a smile. Sorry to interrupt your morning, but we have a few more questions for you. Okay. I have nowhere to run, so I move forward and set up the table. Did you get my phone records? We did, and as far as we can tell, your phone was here all day. That's good, because it was. I was. That part we're not so sure of yet. First off, we have that neighbor who gave your description as someone leaving Tiana's home. Then we have video footage of someone who looks just like you getting on a bus 30 blocks from her house, near where her phone was turned off, and heading west towards this house. Can you explain that? Officer Rice stares at me. I have no idea. I was here all day. There is no way I'm telling anything else to these men. I'm sticking to my story till they prove otherwise. People have doppelgangers. Maybe this woman is mine. Well, we're going to prove that to be false soon enough. Just give us time, he says matter of fact. Also, we looked into Tiana's friend's story, and she gave us all the communication between them stating that you lied about your job, and she was headed here to confront you. So tell us, Shannon, he says my name with emphasis. Where do you work? I'm at a loss for words at first, and I force myself to speak. I work at the landmark. We figured you'd continue the lie. Officer Ricks speaks up. We know you don't work there. Give that up. No landmark has ever had a Shannon Brown work for them. You do not work there. Well, I did work there. Then I was let go and didn't want Zain to think less of me, so I kept lying that I worked there. I've been delivering food the last few months. I can't force myself to look at him. He must hate me right now. We know you never worked at the landmark, that you applied but you were never hired. You actually worked for that coffee shop right next door till they fired you for stealing cash. That never happened. I don't steal. I'm a good person. I was framed by Jill. She hated me and pinned her theft on me. When I caught her red-handed, I should have just told on her, but I didn't, so she blamed it on me. Sure. Whatever you say, Shannon. He sounds way too sarcastic, and I want to slap him in the face. Also, we're going to need your social security information and date of birth. As far as we can tell, this Shannon Brown may not even be your real name at this point. You've told us way too many lies, but we're sure to sort it all out. So give me that information, or we can get this down at the station. Which will it be? I give them the fake information, then they get up and leave. You can be sure that we will be back and we'll catch you in all of your lies. Officer Rice gives me a smirk. Don't leave town. He turns to Zain. I'd be careful if I were you. Then they get up and leave. What the hell was that? Zain has never yelled at me before. I jerk my head up. I have no idea what they're talking about. I was never at Tiana's place, and I didn't take any bus. I haven't rode the bus in years. Not that. He's so mad. What was all that crap about you not working at the bank and getting fired for stealing and you deliver food as a job? Have you told me anything that's truth? And is your name really Shannon? Tiana was right all along. His mind is working overtime. Everything I told you was the truth except for the job. I was so embarrassed to tell you where I really worked when we met that I blurted out I worked at the bank next door to impress you. Then we had the best time together and I didn't know how to tell you the truth, so I just kept lying. And then the lie got away from me. I'm so sorry, but that was the only lie, I swear. I'm not sure I can believe you. It sounds like you have way more lives up your sleeve and in your past, and I can't deal with this. I need to get to work, but I want you out of this house by the time I get back. Take all of your crap and get out. I can't trust you anymore. He grabs his keys and storms out of the garage. I can't let him get away right now. He can't leave me. Take off after him. Why won't he listen to me? Why is he taking the dumb cop's word for everything? Everyone knows cops lie to get you to confess things you never did. Doesn't he know that? Chapter 11. Gets to his side of the car as I enter the garage after him. Please, can you stay so we can talk about this? I beg. There's nothing to talk about. You've told too many lies. You have it all wrong. Stop, Shannon. I can't do this now. He gets into the car, so I climb into the passenger side before he can lock the doors. Please get out. He tries to speak calmly, but it comes out forced. I have to get to work. We can talk on the way. You have to hear me out. You can't just walk away from me, from us. I have to go. Press my hands over my chest and sit there, not moving. I'm not leaving till we talk. He sighs heavily. I'm leaving, so either get out or you'll have to find your own ride back. I'm not leaving this car till we talk it over. Suit yourself. He backs up and takes off. I'm sorry you found out where I work the way that you did. I kept wanting to tell you, but every single time I felt too embarrassed to admit it. You were so accomplished and perfect that I felt like you'd leave me if you found out I didn't work at a bank like you. I was applying to work at the bank, so I figured eventually I would be there and it wouldn't be a lie anymore. I don't care where you work, Shannon. I care that you don't seem to tell the truth to save your life. You've told me for weeks that you worked there. No wonder you never let me meet you for lunch or meet any of your coworkers. I'm such an idiot for believing you. He hits the steering wheel with his palm. I've never seen him this mad before. That's the only lie I told, I promise. Then why do the cops think that your name isn't even Shannon? Can you explain that? I have no idea what they're talking about. Of course I'm Shannon. How could I not be? Maybe they're just trying to get under my skin. I've heard that cops can lie to you to get you to confess to things you didn't do. This has to be one of those times because I'm not lying about this, and I certainly did not do anything to Tiana. I barely knew her. You know cops lie. Remember in that thriller movie you went to? The cops told all kinds of lies to get her to tell them what she did. It has to be like that. I didn't do anything wrong. So now you're comparing this situation to one in a movie with a psychopath? Not a good move, Shannon, if that's your real name. And why is her friend so convinced that she came here? Why are the cops certain that you were at her house? I don't think they're lying here. I think you are the liar in the situation. None of this makes sense. You're right. It doesn't make sense because it's not true. She never came here. I never went there. Tons of people could be described to look like me. And they probably have no video, and if they do, it's just some random person who could look like me. I was here all day, and Tiana never came here. You know I was here. Maybe she came here, sat in her car, and decided to leave because she knew she was wrong about me. She changed her mind and left. Then maybe she caught someone robbing her and they killed her. Zain looks at me. Why do you say that? I think I just messed up. I don't know. The news said she was robbed, right? I don't think they said anything like that. Zain stares me down. How do you know she was robbed? Who told you that? I didn't. It had to be in the news or the radio. Yeah, I heard it on the radio the other day that they suspected a robbery. Why does it matter? I'm just trying to explain why it wasn't me. I didn't do this. The cops just told me this morning while you were in the shower that they suspected she was robbed, but later realized it was staged and that she was killed somewhere else, then taken back to her home after. Nobody knew she was robbed, and she wasn't wrong about you. She knew you never worked at the landmark. She wasn't about to let you get away with that lie. I ignore the last part. News people say things all the time. They must have said it. Could have been a robbery. I'm not making this up. I have no clue what happened. I wasn't there. I didn't do this. None of this makes sense, Shannon. All of this is a bit too much. This between us has moved way too fast, and now I think we need to halt the brakes a bit. I want you to move out by the end of the day. We can get together this weekend to talk about this and get things sorted out. We belong together, Zain. You love me. I love you. He rubs his temple. This is too much right now. I don't know how to feel, and I need time to figure all this out. I need you to give me space. I can't think with you telling me all these lies. But I don't have anywhere to go. I start to cry. The tears always seem to work. Haven't you been looking into apartments? You said you found a few places that might be good. None of them panned out. How is that possible? How is it that you haven't been able to find a place to stay for weeks? There are a ton of empty apartment buildings in the area. There has to be one that would work, or were you never planning on leaving my house? No, I am looking. Places are just so expensive, and I don't have any money. This is the first time I admitted to him that I'm broke. What about your insurance money? It hasn't come yet. That's bullshit. It should be here by now, unless you lied about that too. No, I only told you the one lie about the job. He's so mad. How do I recover from this? How do I get him to see reason? Was this your plan all along? To get your foot in the door, seduce me, and never leave? Realization hits his face. Is that what happened that night? The first night we had sex? Did you give me something? I hardly remember that night, and that's bugged me ever since. I didn't have enough to drink to make me forget so much, and it's not like me to sleep with somebody so quick in the relationship, even if they push their way into my house. I should have known you were trouble. Something in my gut told me you were wrong for me, and now I know why. I should have listened to it. He shakes his head in disgust. You weren't wrong about me. I am not trouble. I'm good for you. You let your guard down around me because I'm good for you, and you love me. I make you feel better and put you at ease. You can be yourself with me. We are good together. He stares me down. How could I love you? I barely know you, and what I do know seems to be all lies. I shake my head. Don't say that. You don't mean that. I do, and I think it's best for us all if we call it quits. It might be what's best for both of us. You need to figure yourself out. You need to sort out your life. No, I don't want that. I want you and you want me. I'm not sure anymore. Right now, all I want is to be alone. He's serious. He's going to leave me. I can't let this happen. He is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I can't let him walk away from me. I can't let this life slip through my hands. Without thinking, I grab the steering wheel and yank it my way. The car wheels turn and we hit the guardrail, but it's too flimsy to hold us on the road, so we drive over the edge of the cliff. No! He yells. Then everything goes. Chapter 12. I wake up and can only open one eye. There's beeping to my right and some noise in the background. The lighting is low, and at first I have no idea where I am. Then I recognize it's a hospital. It all comes rushing back to me. The cops coming to see me, the arguing with Zain, getting in the car, then him losing control because he was so upset, and us going over the edge. Oh my God, where is Zain? What happened to him? I need to know. I search around with my left hand and find the button that calls the nurse and push it frantically till I hear a voice. You're awake. I'll be right in to help you. The footsteps come from down the hall. I open my good eye, and a blonde, petite woman in scrubs walks into my room. Well, hello. You're finally awake. You've been in a coma for 2 days. Do you remember anything? She asks in a sing-song voice. What happened to the man who was with me? Is he okay? Can I talk to him? My voice is hoarse. Zain is his name. I need to know how he's doing. Her face falls. I'm sorry to tell you this, honey, but he didn't make it. When you went over the edge, your car hit a tree on his side and he died on impact. You're lucky to even be alive. No, 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 I cry out. This wasn't supposed to happen, I yell. Shh, sweetheart, it's the middle of the night. You'll wake everyone up. I don't care. He was the love of my life. I try to cover my face with my hands, but something's holding my right one down. That's when I notice the handcuffs. What the hell? Please don't panic, or I will have to sedate you, and I don't want to have to do that, she pleads with me. I take 3 deep breaths to try and calm my nerves. Why is my hand cuffed to the bed? I'm not quite sure, to be honest. All I know is that the cops say you're a suspect in a murder. They've been here every day since your accident, hoping to talk to you as soon as you're awake. They will be here bright and early in the morning. She tries to calm me with the dumb sing-song voice again. I didn't murder anyone, I protest. They have it all wrong. They seem to think otherwise, but maybe once they talk to you, they'll change their minds? They won't, but I'm not telling her that. Can I get some water? My mouth is so dry. Yes, of course. I'll be right back. Past few days run through my head, and I have a terrible feeling I'm not going to be able to talk my way out of this one. What am I going to do? Zain's dead? The cops are going to pin Tiana's murder on me, and they'll find out my name isn't Shannon. My life is ruined. The life I worked so hard to create, that was going so well, is over. Why did he have to get so mad in the car? Why didn't he just stay at home and talk with me about everything? This is all his fault. He wouldn't listen to me. He wouldn't stay home and talk it over. He just got in the car and was going to leave me behind. Of course I had to go with him. He knew I would, and now I'm stuck here and he's dead. This is a nightmare. Here you go. She hands me a styrofoam cup with a straw. I'm going to check all your vitals while I'm here, if that's okay with you, she asks. I nod. She gets to work, taking my temperature, blood pressure, and who knows what else. I know nothing about healthcare. I've only been in the doctor twice in my life that I know of. That should be it. Do you need anything else? I shake my head no. Okay, well, I have to do the rounds and check all the patients, so I won't be back here for another hour or so. If you need anything, I might not hear the call right away, okay? I nod. Try to get some sleep. You still need to recover from that accident. She leaves and my mind goes into overdrive. I have to get out of here. I can't stay here and let the cops take me to jail. Plus, they're completely wrong about me. I'm innocent, and they are wasting their time. Tiana was robbed, and the robber stabbed her, not me. I look around and can't find anything to help me unlock the cuffs. Then I remember the move I used when I was arrested the first time. It was a total accident. The cuffs were bothering me, and they had my hand attached to the front grill while they checked for the others in the house, and my thumb got dislocated. My hand slipped out of the cuffs, so I was able to walk away. It's a good thing, too. They were going to pin the death of my foster father on me. I just knew it. That was the first time the cops tried to frame me, and obviously isn't the last. This time it takes a bit more maneuvering to get my finger to move out of place, but I get it. I must be on some good pain meds, because it doesn't even really hurt. I pull the IV out of my arm and the leads off of my chest. The machine beeps loud, so I panic for a moment till I find the power button and turn it off. Then I search every drawer and cupboard till I find a set of old scrubs in the bottom of one. I rush to put them on, then peek my head out into the hall. No one's there. Seriously? Only one nurse here right now? Guess they aren't lying when they say there's a shortage. Lucky me. I go to the nurse's station, and I'm in luck. The lady's purse is right on the top of the desk. I search it and find her wallet. In it, there's cash. Fate's on my side tonight. I grab the money and a credit card, then I dig around and find her keys. Her phone is sitting right there next to the purse, and it takes all my willpower not to grab it. I have no one to call anymore, and the cops can track it, so it's not worth the risk. Then I turn around and follow the signs to the exit. There are hardly any cars in the parking lot, so I push the unlock button and her lights blink. I get into the driver's seat and take off before she notices I'm gone and calls the cops. I'm not going to jail for all the things they say I did. I'm innocent, but they will never believe me, so the only choice I have is to get the hell out of here. At first, I'm not sure where I am. Then I get my bearings and head to the house. I need my things, and he has some money saved in his safe. He didn't know I had the combination or that I'd take a few thousand here and there when I was low on cash. Front door has yellow police tape. What's going on? The door is locked, so I go around to the back porch to open the window I know is broken and climb inside. There's tape and markings all over the floor in the kitchen. What's that about? I don't have time to worry. I rush to our bedroom and grab all my clothes and shove them into one of Zane's suitcases in the closet. I grab a few things from the bathroom and a few of Zane's comfortable pajama clothes, then head to the safe, praying that it's all still there. The first 3 times I try the combination, it doesn't work, and I panic that someone changed it already, but then the 4th time it opens up. Thank God it's all there. I grab his cash and jewelry and start to leave. Then I remember the stash of stuff I found in the attic. It could come in handy for some extra cash later if I sell it all. I grab it and get the hell out of there, leaving from the window and shut it so no one suspects anything. I consider taking my car, but the one I got from the hospital is better. But of course they'll run plates, so I steal the ones off of a car down the street and replace them with mine and take off. Not sure what I'll do next, but I can't stay here. Why did Tiana have to ruin everything? Why didn't Zain just believe me? I loved him, and he loved me. Those damn cops ruined it for me by coming around and asking all those questions. I wish I could take them out, but I won't. Now I have to start all over again. Thank you for listening to You Made Me Do It to Both of Us by Tamara L. Adams. Please leave a review. It's your greatest compliment.